Hey Scorpio, Mariah here. I'm going to go ahead and get into your reading. I'm actually doing this kind of as a bonus for you. This weekend I've been getting the urgency to do a reading for you. And I'm like, you know what? Anytime that happens, I got to do a reading. So when I was meditating over your energy, and by the way, this is actually my second time recording this. I got almost halfway through the first one until my cat just would not stop meowing. So I had to go spend some time with him. Hopefully he's good now. So while I was meditating on your cards earlier, I heard the word mudslide. And when I looked up mudslide, because I'm like, okay, why would I get mudslide, right? So I looked up the word mudslide, and the first thing I saw was an alcoholic drink. It's like a mixed alcoholic drink. So I don't know if you guys been out drinking this weekend or you're drinking watching this, but it's a special type of mixed drink. And I was like, you know what? No, that's not it. I don't think Spirit just wanted me to let Scorpios know about drinking. Like, no. So I looked even further, and mudslide talks about a mass of mud and other earthly material that is falling or has fallen down a hillside or other slope. So I was like, okay, this makes a little more sense. And then from there, I went ahead and I heard this song in my head. It's by the late great Whitney Houston called Shoop from the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. And if you're not familiar with that song, it's a beautiful song, check it out. But I'll leave the lyrics in the description box so you can have more resonance with what I'm saying throughout this reading. So I wanted to understand more. Well, mind you, this is my second time recording this reading, so I didn't remove any of the cards. I'm going to try to pick up from where I left off. So we had Creative Power that came out, Eternal Gatekeeper, and Melting Mask. From this point forward, the rest of the cards that I pull, I'll do a fresh shuffle. But you guys seen my readings before. You know I always pull fresh on camera, so there's no hokey poke going on with the cards here. So it's really interesting because when I look at Creative Power, let me ask you this, Scorpio. Maybe it was meant for me to redo this, because now that what I said in the first recording of this is now kind of processing backwards for me. Can I ask you a question? Honestly, Scorpio, can I ask you a question? What happened to you? And I mean it. What happened to you? And that's something not only am I asking you, but that's something for you to ask yourself. What has happened to you? Because when I look at these energies here, we have Creative Power. We have this woman. She's pregnant. Her stomach looks like it's low, so she looks like she's carrying possibly a boy. So some of you may be pregnant watching this, or you may have a son, or you may be carrying, a son that hasn't been born yet. So congratulations to you if you are any of those. But in that Creative Power energy, this woman is pregnant with ideas, life purpose, her destiny. It says, release your alchemical energy into the world. And right next to it, we have Eternal Gatekeeper. Acknowledge, assert, and protect what is right for you. And then on the bottom, we have that Melting Mask card, which I'll actually show you, right? Melting Mask. And it says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So when I go back to the Scorpio and I ask you what has happened to you, I'm very curious. Because Scorpio, you're not the type to wear a facade, to wear a mask. No, actually on the contrary, you're very authentic. You're very genuine. And we're just speaking Scorpios in general, right? Now I can name some other signs that can wear a mask pretty damn easily, but not you. You're very authentic when it comes to you and at your core. But I'm curious what this mask is here for you. Because when I look at Melting Mask in the visualization and idea of Scorpio and this energy that I'm feeling here, this lets me know that Scorpio, whatever it is on the soul and internal level for you, whether it is your life path, your destiny, your purpose that needs to be fulfilled, there's a blockage and barrier here. Some of you may be working on it, trying to eliminate it, and some of you may have not yet, because that Melting Mask is on the bottom of the deck. So some of you may have not started working on this. And I look at the alignment, or if you will, misalignment with your soul's purpose and bringing that to fulfillment in this facade here. And when I'm looking at the facade, this could be self-imposed beliefs, self-doubt, imposed limitations. This can also be historical and genetic upbringings, genetic backgrounds, or, prepositioned behavioral patterns and conditions that were placed upon you from even your earliest stages of infancy, societal standards and norms and pressures, life pressures. So many different things that are not in alignment with what our true soul's calling is. That's this mask that needs to be melted. So if I was to ask you this, Scorpio, let me ask you another question. I love questions. If you ever did a reading with me, you know I'm a question girl. I'll ask you a shit ton of questions in your reading, so that way you can think, right? It's a conversation here. So if I was to ask you a question, Scorpio, if you could peek into your future, if you were given and granted that access to see your life purpose, your destiny, what's meant to be fulfilled in this lifetime, would you quickly and easily be ready to drop anything that stood in the way? Like that, just quickly. Now, don't get me wrong, I know we have life circumstances that can be a bit of a hindrance there. So, of course, I'm not saying if your life purpose aligns with something where you would have to relocate or give up massive changes. I'm not saying that. Of course, we still have to be practical in the reality, right? We're still of flesh. So we have to be practical in certain elements or aspects. But I'm saying the things that you are able to switch around currently in your life right now that we may be holding on to or clinging to, whether, again, it's self-imposed beliefs, self-doubts, fears, whether it is historical preconditions and patterns that need to be removed. That's a blockage or a hindrance from you going after your life purpose or your destiny or your fulfillment. Would you be quick to drop it or eliminate it or remove it from your life? Because with this internal gatekeeper, you have the key here, Scorpio. You have the key to go towards your path and destiny. And I wouldn't be amiss to say that a lot of you have been shown in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's up to you to do something about it. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you had the key to unlock your greatest and fullest potential, why not? If you have the key to unlock your destiny and truly what it is meant for you to do, that puts you in alignment with who your soul is, not only on the internal, but the external, so that way you fully live a purposeful life, a fulfilling life, a life that leads you and takes you to your destiny, where you feel that at the end of my days, God or spirit willing, whatever you believe, whatever your deity of choice is, you hit 90 something years old and you're on your deathbed. You can say, I left a legacy. I fulfilled and I lived out my purpose and what I was meant to do here. Looking from the age you are now into the future, can you say that the path and the steps that you are taking now are in alignment for you to say those words when you're 90 something plus years old in your deathbed? And if it's not, then we need to course correct. Because again, Spirit has given you, has shown you, or is trying to show you, or wants to show you what it is your alchemical energy is, your destiny, your purpose, your life path. But I go back to what's in the way, what's stopping you, whether it's internal or external. And are you willing to remove whatever it may be to fulfill out what it is that it's meant for you to do? See, the thing about humans, right, when we're born in our earliest stages of infancy, right, we're in the delivery room. Well, not saying we are, but our parents are in the delivery room. And our mothers are giving birth to us. When we first take that first breath of air, we know nothing. All we know is nothing. We're at that point of our life, we will never be more present in the moment than that first breath we take of life when we're born. And what happens a few minutes after that? Well, the nurse grabs us from our mother's arms. We start crying. We get the pat on the back to make sure we don't have any fluids in our lungs. That's when reality hits. That's when reality and life starts to hit us. That's from that moment forward and down the line. That's when these societal norms, these societal standards, our brain, our cerebral capacity, yeah, hopefully I'm saying it correctly, it starts to develop, it starts to form. We age, we start to put these certain beliefs or conditionings on ourselves and our parents, depending on how they were raised, their background, their existing conditions and patterns are now placed upon us, which starts to shape on the outside world who we are. But on the inside, we've already had a purpose. Now, given the external factors that may play a part of our own internal factors, those certain patterns or conditionings that are placed upon us from, again, after that first moment of infancy, the pat on the back, to, 10 years old, 15-year-old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, life starts to shape who we are. But that's who we are of the flesh. Who are we of the soul? I go back to creative power. That's what's trying to be, geez. Currently in the present moment. It's what's needing to be born. That's what you now, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, I know men can't, have babies. But that is what you need to birth, is that soul version of you, your life that is quintessential for you to live out your destiny. That's what's trying to come and be pushed forward to fruition, trying to be pushed forward to the surface. But because life takes its toll on us, our then developed traumas, our then developed experiences, our then developed hurts, our then developed issues and dysfunctions and different dynamics that are created or formed within us. A lot of the time, most of the time, all of the time, for some people, are not in alignment with what the soul. But see, the beautiful part is here, Scorpio, with this creative power, this woman being pregnant, you can feel it. That's the one thing. It doesn't matter how much life tries to shape you or deter you from what your soul, destined, and life purpose and path is. It doesn't matter how much life tried to take you off your path and chart of course. On the soul level, you will always feel it. And that soul energy that you've always felt has always been there from infancy, from the first moment you took that breath of life, before the nurse gave you the pat on the back. And that's why a lot of times, even in children, they tend to experience, and I've had this too, so I'm kind of speaking of personal experience as well, but children can experience feeling out of place, not feeling understood. Now, mind you, external factors have a part of that, but also on the soul level. If the soul is shaped and formed and molded in one specific way, and your environmental external resources, if you will, are not conducive or not in alignment with who you are on the soul and what you feel on the soul level, even from an early age, toddler, child, teen years, you can always feel some way or sort of out of place. What Spirit's trying to do now is align you to who you truly are. So I go back to asking you this one more time, Scorpio. If you had the ability, willingly and knowingly, you had the ability to remove and eliminate anything that's not conducive on the soul level to who you truly are, to live out your life purpose and destined path, would you be willing to eliminate it? Just like that, if you could see what your life path was. So what happened to you? How did life happen to you? And how did life, in some way, shape, or form, deter you from your life purpose or your life path without you knowing or knowing? And I ask you that in a specific way, Scorpio, because even if you know or you feel that there's something destined or there's something greater for you to do or something greater for you to accomplish, whether you know what that route is or what it looks like, or if you don't, life still takes its toll on you. And we still deal with external factors, even with knowing our life purpose, that takes its toll on us. So what happened to you? What have you experienced that may have now placed you externally and internally out of alignment. The soul and the flesh. That's one of the hardest things to place into alignment. And it requires a lot of work to place it into alignment. So I want to keep going. So finally we kind of caught up. Tell me more, Spirit, for my Scorpios. Worry. One more for my Scorpios. Growth. And the bottom of the deck is absolutely your energy. Death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings, and right underneath that is purpose. I know what I am here to do. So when I look at worry, it's actually in sync with death here for me. Because with worry is not a instinct or a feeling that we know from the earliest stages of infancy, right? When we take that first breath of life, we don't know what worry is. How do we know what worry is? Well, we can look at the scientific aspect of it, right? The neurological element of it. But we all can also look at the external factors that cause us worry, right? How we're shaped and molded, and how we start to understand worry and see worry in our earliest years, our most primal years, if you will, from our parents. That's the first sign we ever know what worry is or understand worry. We pick up on it. So I bring this to you in present day with worry. When I look at this, I'm learning that worry does not change an outcome. This is an external factor that affects you internally. How can we eliminate this worry energy from you? How can we, honestly? And I'm just asking you. Not saying that you're actively worried at this present moment, but having this energy within you, which again, we're still of the flesh, we're still human, so this is just something that is, unfortunately, we can't really change too much about, but we can learn how to coexist with it. So things, blockages, hindrances that may become bothersome, or we may not know what to do, or it causes some form of worry, or now we even take it a little bit further, anxiety or panic, right? Especially if you're prone to anxiety attacks or panic attacks. How can we learn to coexist with this so that way it does not affect our soul level of going towards our destiny? Because this will absolutely block us. Because this will start to activate those self-imposed beliefs, those self-imposed hindrances, those self-imposed limitations. How can we coexist with this? Well, it goes to growth. Needing to be able to grow past this kind of energy and learn how to live with any worries, doubts, or beliefs. Whether, again, it's internal, we start to doubt ourselves. We may feel like, maybe I'm not ready to take on this challenge or task. Maybe I have too many life circumstances going on to really start to focus on my destiny or life purpose, right? Especially if you got, your kids, your work, this, and the third. Life just takes its toll. How can we learn to coexist with this energy so that way we can still move towards the path we're guided to take? Well, death comes in. And I love that it's right underneath purpose, right? Yeah, right. Purpose is right underneath death. Because with death, it says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings, right? Which is kind of what I go back to what I said of, would you be willing to release anything that stands in the way of you going towards your destiny? See, this requires a dark night of the soul, which some of you have been through, some of you may have not entered into yet. Especially if the ones you've entered into your dark night of the soul, you know what that's like. And it's not fun and it's not pleasant. And if you've made it out of your dark night of the soul, I would ask you, do you still have this energy surrounding you, worry, that comes up for whatever reason, through any life circumstance? And if so, we may need to reevaluate. If you have not been through your life, dark night of the soul, then what's going to have to happen here? Out of all the signs, Scorpio, you're very capable. This is a part of who you are. Death and transformation. Your life, unfortunately, as being a Scorpio, is not an easy path to take. Because all throughout your life, you will be constantly broken, revived, broken, revived. That's your entire life. Now, we can look astrologically at this depending on your north and south node. that adds its factors, but we're just talking sun here for general purposes. You're going to go through a lot of transformations, but through each and every single transformation that breaks you down, builds you back up, reshapes you, it brings you closer to your purpose. It brings you closer to having this destiny and this life purpose come out on the line, come out to fruition, so that way you can experience this and be able to walk in that path. So that way this misalignment no longer occurs. And all it's doing, again, is bringing you closer to your purpose. Truthfully. Truthfully, Scorpio. So let me pull a couple cards on this for my Scorpio spirit. Three of water in the reverse. And it's so interesting because I just heard Spirit tell me before I even got these two, how do I let it go? How do I let it go? So I don't know what that is in relation to for you, Scorpio, but how do I let it go? I'm going to ask you another question if you don't mind. Hopefully this is the last question I ask you in this reading because we're getting a little lengthy. But what are your distractions? And I mean it. What are your distractions? Some of you may have eliminated them with this Three of Cups in the reverse, and some of you need to. What are your distractions? And lastly, if you have not removed your distractions, please start doing so. Whatever they may be, whether it's external or internal. Whatever shifts your focus from going towards your destiny and your life purpose, please eliminate them. Why? Well, all it does is prolong the process for you, because at the end of the day, Scorpio, you can't escape this. Not in this energy. You can't escape this. Either you can go accordingly and you can go with the tide, or you will be forced. And as a Scorpio, I know you guys can put up a fight and you're willing to endure a lot. And that's the beautiful tragedy of Scorpio. But in this kind of energy, I wouldn't recommend going forced. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of feeling misunderstood, a lot of feeling not in alignment with yourself and the external world, a lot of uncomfortability. So I would say go with the tide. Whatever distractions are here that are stopping you, again, internal, external, needs to be eliminated. And Four of Pentacles here. Protect your energy. Protect your energy. Be careful, Scorpio, of how many people you may tell or discuss your life purpose or your destiny with. Not a lot of people can understand where you're coming from and see it through the perspective of their eyes. They can only experience it or see it through the perspective of their life experience. And in this kind of energy with something so magnified, something that's so important and imperative for you to take on and go towards, you may have people that can be a deterrent for you. Again, Three of Cups. Eliminate. Protect your energy. This is something you need to go at alone. Solitude, isolation. Can you tell me more for my Scorpio spirit? Page of Air. Temperance. Bottom of the deck. Four of Wands in the reverse. Woo. Okay. Yeah, Scorpio, this process is not going to be easy. And I'm going to tell you also, too, your stability, as you know it, is going to get rocked. Some of you may have experienced that. Some of you, it is pending. I'm just letting you know in advance. You do with that as you may. Your stability is going to get rocked. But it's meant to happen. We have to now shift the belief or the focus of life is not happening to me, but it's happening for me, because your stability is definitely about to get rocked. But it needs to happen so that way you can start to break down these facades or these conditionings or these patterns, whether it is historical from one generation to another to now you, whether it's, again, throughout your life, your environment, societal norms, economic norms or standards, beliefs, experiences, traumas, PTSDs, things that you've been through in life, that from, again, we'll go back to it, bring it full circle, that first breath of life. From that point forward, after you took your first breath of life, passed over to a nurse, and she gave you the pat on the back, and you started to cry. Life has always shaped you. Life is about to reshape you again. So what you know as far as your stability, yeah, go ahead and kiss goodbye. Not saying you're going to be homeless or you're going to, please don't, because I know some of y'all just start taking shit out of left field, and I don't mean it like that, so please don't be in my comments. But I mean stability as in your comfort, what you know, what you have known, what you have experienced, all of that is going to be terminated. It has to be rebuilt so that way you can get closer to your destiny. But Scorpio, the thing about this, and I love that the Temperance is here, is because once your stability is cracked, rocked, and destroyed, we got the Temperance here. This is spirit, the universe coming in to kiss your boo-boos and put a Band-Aid on it. So it's not like it's just happening and then I'm going to stay in this uncomfortability and I don't know what's going on and feeling lost and out of control of your own life. That will be that initial feeling. Don't get me wrong. Once this stability is cracked, you will feel that. But then it's the universe coming in with that kiss, with Temperance. Let me make you feel better. It'll be all right. Let me heal it. Just focus on me. Focus on me. And I'll guide you through the rest of this uncomfortable space that you're going through after this foundation rocks. That's what this feels like. Somebody's grandmother is very important here. Somebody's grandmother was a witch. I don't know whose. Somebody's grandmother was a witch. And there's also, and I know this can be very general in saying, but there's a scorned mother. Be careful of that. If you know you have a scorned mother, or whether it's based on her own life experiences or whatever it may be, just be careful of that energy around you, especially if you want to have peace with your mother, but she psychologically has not dealt with her traumas. Please be careful of proceeding forward in this kind of energy, because if you still have contact with your mother that's dealing with that, or any resentment, again, it doesn't have to be geared towards you, but if she did not deal with those psychological traumas through whatever mean or form, this will take its toll and impact on you going towards where you need to be, which will also prolong the process, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And if you resist this uncomfortability, which Scorpio, you're the sign of change and transformation, death and rebirth. So you're used to it. But if there's any comfortability that you may have in your life where change is now coming in and you may be of resistance, please don't, because that breakdown is going to hurt even worse with that Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse can talk about bad luck, misfortune. It's going to hurt even worse if you resist it. And I'm not saying, again, let me clarify, because y'all be in my comments, I'm not saying just take the shit life throws at you and lay on your back and let life just happen to you. No. But there are some things that happens in life that no matter how hard you try to fix or adjust to or this and other, it's going to come down. So no, I'm not saying just let life dog you out and then take it. No, I'm not saying that. But this is one of those times in your life, Scorpio, where you cannot fight this change. It just has to happen. So either you can go with the program or you let it hurt worse. And that's essentially what I'm trying to say here. So Page of Air, in the interim, before this crash happens, do your due diligence. What do I need to do to get me closer to my destiny and my life path? Am I currently in alignment with it? If not, what do I need to do to be in alignment with it? What do I need to remove to be in alignment with it? What do I need to start changing in my life to be in alignment with it? Right now, if things have been a little steady, right, everything hasn't came crumbling down yet, right? Your stability, your comfortability, if that hasn't started to come down yet, you still have time to be in this space of preparation for what's next. What is next? Get the ball rolling, Scorpio. Start figuring out, what does your life purpose or destiny look like, feel like? What does that life experience, once you get there, that experience in life, walking in your destiny, what does that look like? What does that entail? What does that call you doing? What are you being called towards? This is you needing to be acutely sharp right now in the intern. And while you're prepping for this, when this foundation comes crumbling down, and I'll even say for some of you, because right underneath that, whoo, Lord, Knight of Wands, Five of Pentacles, if I can show you appropriately. You see that Knight of Fire and the Knight of Wands, that quick movement? Right at the Four of Wands, it's literally hitting the Four of Wands. This is coming in quick for you. So start prepping. Because when that happens, right underneath that is this Five of Earth, Five of Pentacles. Lost stability. That's what I'm talking about. Your stability, comfortability. It can even also, for some of you, being your financial matters or financial sector. But any form of stability is getting rocked, cracked, and destroyed. But it's only to bring you towards your life path, purpose, and destiny. So start finding out what that is, Scorpio. That's the best advice I can give you, because I can't tell you how to avoid this. You can't. You can't. And again, I'm not saying don't let life happen to you. Of course, certain measures we can take in our own actions, to ease the blow of things, of course. But there are certain experiences and times in our lives where life just really hits us. And that's what you're going through, or that's what you're about to enter into. So I would rather tell you the honest truth, so that way you can prepare yourself for the universe aligning you with your destiny and aligning you with your calling in what humanity, with your calling in humanity, with your calling in life. I would rather you guys be prepared and know what's about to happen to you than tell you some BS of, oh yeah, you can make changes, blah, 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 and then it come and happen and the change you try to make don't fucking work. Sorry, I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody else will blow smoke up your ass. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to waste my time. So, Scorpio, I am going to pull one more card for you, and I am going to let you go after that. So for my Scorpios, what do they need to know, Spirit? Focus on the positive. And that flipped right on my arm. Focus on the positive. Amen. So during this time frame, Scorpio, have your sights set on your destiny, your life path, your purpose, knowing where you're going, where you want to go, the life you truly want to fulfill on the soul level, not societal standards or norms and things that, on the soul level. You're much deeper than any physical 3D type of aspect we can go here. On the soul level, focus on what it is that you are being called to. That is the positive. That is going to be the bright spot for you in all of this. In all of this. And this I'm so sorry. I literally thought of the tower looking at this Four of Wands, because it feels the same as far as the energy. But this Four of Wands, your stability that's coming down, for each and every one of you, it will absolutely look different, right? So I can't tell you, okay, yours is going to be in this form, yours is going to be in that form. For some of you, it will be financial, okay? But for all of you, no matter what the form looks like, no matter what shape it takes, throughout it all, in the difficult space you will be in, focus on going towards your destiny, knowing that this is taking you closer to your destiny. You are currently, Scorpio, being aligned with your destiny, aligned with all of humanity, what it is you're meant to do, that legacy that you live, and that legacy that you will leave behind. That's where you're being pulled towards right now. So I said that was going to be the last card, but something told me to pull one more. And I'm going to wrap up because I know this is getting real lengthy. Patience. Whew. Okay. And I'm going to point this out too. I wasn't even going to point it out. The bottom of the deck is healing chaos. So Scorpio, this is not going to be easy. And this is not an easy read. while you're going through this transformation that needs to happen. I just heard hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. And there comes a point when you exhale. Woo! Please listen to that song. Just hold tight, Scorpio. I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's not going to be fun. I know personally I had to destroy and rebuild my life twice from ground zero. From homelessness to no longer being homeless, to almost homeless again, to no longer being homeless again. Twice in such a short time frame. But both times were done for me to align me to my life purpose. If those situations never happened, you wouldn't be getting this video here today. It's not going to feel comfortable, and I can't say that lightly, but in those moments where it just feels like, what the fuck, universe? Keep your sights set on your destiny, okay? Scorpio, I love you forever, to eternity and beyond. I know it sounds like Buzz Lightyear, but I don't mean it like that. I really do. I really do, Scorpio, and I wish you so much, and I wish you well, okay? You guys have a good night, and I appreciate you. Bye.